Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Insert Name Here. It's a podcast about nothing for nobody. Take it seriously, you're redacted. Ha! Let's start the show. Hey,
What's up?
hello, and welcome to Insert Name Here. It's a podcast about nothing for nobody. If you take it seriously, you're redacted. I'm your co-host, Doug Bennett.
And I'm your other co-host, Seth Nacho. Welcome to this beautiful recording on a sunny day.
Tja.
After all the rain we had to go through the past couple days.
Indeed. They have fucking May showers or some crap.
Well, it's supposed to be April showers brings May flowers, but it's...
Yeah, but climate change,
Yeah,
which isn't real.
Okay, it's more about the shifting of Earth's axis and how the schedule of our seasons are changing.
Climate change? Yeah, I hope it does.
Okay. Okay, I mean, great reference, I guess, but come on, bro. Kind of liked where the climate was, you know?
Yeah, well, if it doesn't change, how's it supposed to be any different? You know? That's like,
You have to be able to accept change in your life, you know?
what if we left the sun on all the time? Then it'd never be night. How am I supposed to dream? How am I supposed to...
I mean, ask, like, all the people that live during when it's bright as hell all the time in the northern hemisphere.
Literal hell.
Like, I think it's during the summer, like Alaska has 10-hour days or something. Like,
Longer than that.
yeah,
The
like,
10-hour days is short as fuck, dude.
they have, like, long periods of sunlight. They have long periods of darkness in the winter.
No, I actually been up there. It is a 24-hour day. So, that was a cool trip. But annoying as fuck, dude. You ever tried to, like, sleep? You've been awake all day. It's been day all day. You go to bed and it's still day.
I mean, like, think about this, man. Curtains. A great invention.
You don't always fucking have that luxury when you're traveling, but point made.
Point made for sure. I think any person knows about blackout curtains or whatever, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you'd have to.
Yeah, blackout curtains.
Sheesh. You really going there? Huh?
Just make sure that you're safe, you know?
This weekend, all weekend.
Stay strapped out there, guys, with some curtains so you can avoid that daylight.
These curtains. What are these curtains going to do?
Wake up when you feel like it.
That's
I'm just being for real.
Okay, I heard that.
I don't think that was a metaphor, but
Yeah.
maybe it was.
You say that to their face though, and see what you're not brave enough to say
The
that.
curtain's face? Like, I don't...
Yeah, you don't know what that curtain's gonna do. Jeez, man, off to the races on this one.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. That's a double entendre.
I don't think what I said was very controversial. Oh, man. Well, any updates since last week? Anything like that?
Oh, all kinds of updates, brother. But what I want to know is how inquisitive do you feel right now?
Starting off early with it.
You gotta do it. If you don't do it, you forget. Nobody wants that.
I don't forget. I never forget.
The royal you, in general, if someone doesn't do if a person doesn't do a thing, they're liable to forget that thing. Okay, that's borderline axiomatic.
Is it?
But I said borderline.
Well, your axioms over here. You left us with a pretty crazy one last week that turned into shit for me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Refresh my memory.
Because there was a whole drama I had in a person's stream about it. So, your axiom last week that you're working on for a bit, I believe, is about advice.
Oh yeah, all advice is bad.
Yeah, especially unsolicited advice, right? Like, that's the worst.
Which all advice is unsolicited, but
Well, I mean, some people ask for advice.
that's more like counsel. There's like
But even then, that's still bad, supposedly. It's just critique that you want to do.
Well, critique's fine. If you seek out changes, that's good. That's what literally the word counsel exists for a reason.
Insulting.
Yeah. The thing that people think they're doing with advice is actually something else. And advice is just always bad. It's just, hey, stupid, I'm going to fix your shit, dumbass.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway.
Well,
You say this has caused you problems.
Yeah, I was in a person's stream. They were playing Dead by Daylight. Surprise. Because the game I know a bunch about. So I offered a piece of advice. I said, you might benefit from using this. Someone in the chat freaked the fuck out.
That's not even the streamer.
Not even the streamer.
Just said type Andy in the chat.
Some parasocial, although I don't know, they might be actual friends, but it was pretty wild. Like, they got triggered that I offered advice about a certain killer. They were like, I have 2,000 hours on this killer. I'm number 103 in the world. Do not offer me advice. I'm like, I didn't offer you advice. I offered the streamer. It was. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. That this person got so butthurt, and then the whole chat had to calm her down with praise.
Oh well, it all makes sense now.
Because it's a woman.
Hey, you said it.
I'm just thinking, is that why it makes sense to you? Because to me, it still makes no sense. Like, grow up. Like, how old is this person?
It also already made sense because advice is bad.
Yeah, I said a comment. I said...
So she's actually right in this situation.
I said I'm the bad guy. I gave unsolicited advice. Because then we just came off the episode, so I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm the bad guy. It was funny.
Look at me knowing shit. Hell yeah.
It was
vindicated.
It was funny, and I was just like, bro, this person is weird. And I never want to be involved with them again.
Hell yeah. Unfortunately, I will no longer be attending your stream.
I'm sorry, but...
Your audience is trash.
Your audience gets triggered very easily. Not the kind of place I should be at.
No.
By me suggesting an add-on. It's crazy.
It's also crazy. Like, there's grades to crazy, but also crazy how much a streamer's chat influences whether or not, as someone who's getting into watching streams more, the chat experience can like completely make or break watching somebody for me.
True.
Like
there's chats I've seen where like they're just like accusing people of being cheaters, and I'm like, okay, this is weird.
And like half the fun of watching a stream is seeing the chat, so it's not like I'm gonna diminish the sidebar.
Best part about live stream.
Take that away. Well, it's what distinguishes live stream.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's the best
game.
part. The best part is usually like the main course, like the actual content that is being made. But it's like trying to have a burger without fries. You can do it, but is the experience really everything you want it to be? Probably not.
It's not the same.
There's a reason that the combo bundles happen at McDonald's. But yeah, channel make or break it. Like 100% of the time. The few people I got like a short list of channels where like I will sit there and watch and fucking enjoy the shit out of, and a large part of it is the chat experience. Or if chat's having a bad day, even if I really like it, I'm like, I'm not watching this today. I'm not doing it. Can't do it. I don't like the way you guys are talking about this game. I don't stop doing this to streamer. Stop.
Oh man. But yeah, dude, that irked me a little bit at the time. I'm over it now, obviously. Now it's an inside.
Are you? You brought it up.
Yeah, because I thought it was funny because of the advice thing. But now it's an inside joke on my stream. So if you don't have 10K hours on Clown, don't talk to me about shit. Okay? If you're not number 5 in the world at Clown, I don't want to hear your opinion.
Hell yeah. Real. Co-signed.
So that's that. Okay, I'll give you a big question, okay?
Hell yeah.
What is your favorite delivery service?
Oh, none. Like,
But if you had to pick one, for anything, any sort of delivery at all.
So we're gonna go really sort of abstract here, but
Not UPS, FedEx, all that type of stuff. Not USPS.
yeah, I would say that
Like
the
food delivery.
kind of delivery, and it's not like this is like one specific anything, but the kind of delivery that I appreciate most is like oversized object delivery. You know?
Oh, you're talking about like hardware store.
Like, don't make me have to figure out how to get a couch to my house. Don't make me figure out how to do,
Well, can we limit it to food?
like,
What kind of food delivery is your favorite?
oh man, I really, really, like, you want to get me started on a fucking tangent. Food delivery is something I, like, legitimately, like, hate's a strong emotion. We're bordering on hate here for how much I dislike even that it exists as a thing. I don't think people should be allowed to get food deliveries, okay?
What?
Point blank period.
Why's that?
Why? Go to the fucking place and get the food your fucking self. What? People don't fucking tip. Like, most of the time, as someone who's worked in that a lot, you're not getting tipped, and you're not getting tipped when you do get tipped, never well enough to recoup your costs, okay? So you're working at basically an in-store worker's wage to ruin the shit out of your car and spend extra on gas, thereby diminishing your ultimate paycheck. It is a shitty fucking anti-labor service to exist, and anything that's anti-labor I'm not for.
Okay.
The sense of entitled, there's not a single more entitled kind of customer on the planet than somebody who gets fucking food delivery. It's obnoxious. It's terrible. Shouldn't exist. If you're gonna make me order food, gun to my head, you're like, all right, order some fucking food or die. I guess I'm getting a pizza. Okay, that's also a lot of the time, as a person who has been a customer for food deliveries and then learned the hard way to not do it. People always be fucking it up. Because it's such a shitty job, there is no quality control. And so, like, you'll never catch me ordering something like Chinese delivery. Well, they're going to forget my sauce, my duck sauce that I paid extra for, the extra duck sauce, and I get none of it. Fuck you. No. But you can't really fuck up a pizza delivery. So the pizza delivery is, you know, if I had to do food,
What about my drink? My Diet Dr. Kelp.
If I had to get a food delivery, I'd get a pizza.
How am I supposed to eat this pizza without my Diet Dr. Kelp?
Real. Where's my 2-liter, bitch?
So
What about
I think traditional delivery, right, is like Chinese and pizza. That's like what we had before delivery services existed. Now we've got like Uber Eats and DoorDash, Grubhub, you know, the future.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're mostly talking about with not tipping, right, and stuff like. Those apps kind of force you to tip nowadays.
Well, the gratuity fee
Well, they
is
try
not
to.
tip because it doesn't ever see the pocket of a.
No, it goes
driver.
it goes straight to the driver. The tip stream.
Yeah, they tell you that. They tell you that, but
Okay. I'm pretty sure it does.
go look up the payout schemes.
But real quick, let's talk though about delivery just for a sec because I thought this was interesting. Apparently, sales for some of popular pizza brands are going down in this country. Worldwide, they're actually going great. I mean, not great; they're going okay. But in this country, they're going down because those food service deliveries exist, I believe.
Yeah.
So what they're trying to do at a brand we mentioned last week, Papa John's, they're trying to make their delivery better, which I think is cool. They're partnered with Google now. They're going to use AI and stuff to like more accurate delivery times and I guess help with the routing and stuff instead of just the way it used to be where it was on a screen. It was like a map quest almost. So I think that's cool. I think that's cool. They're trying to improve to like make a better delivery experience. Maybe it'll save them from the hellhole that is these apps.
Well, I mean, the thing
Because
is,
it's like if it's in store partnered, you don't go through the app, which is cool.
yeah. I mean, pizza is a little different. Improvement is good always. So props for that. Love to see improvement, but it is kind of, I think, the customer's fault if they're getting delivery pizza through a delivery app.
No, not getting the pizza through the app at all. They're just ordering other stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so like they're trying to get people to order more delivery pizza because delivery pizza sales have gone down.
We must return to tradition.
You're right, exactly. Everything was better back in the day, right?
Oh yeah, but no, I mean that's like you raised an excellent point. Like there is basically two traditional types of food delivery.
Chinese
And then-
and pizza, I feel like.
And then the outlier, the sort of breakout thing where people thought fast food could even be possible in the delivery model was Jimmy John's.
Oh, true. I forgot about them.
So definitely an outlier. Only fast food place pre the DoorDash phenomenon that I can think of. Can you think of any other fast food style place?
They did delivery? No.
Yeah, so they were the outlier there, and they kind of proved the concept. But yeah, no, good improvement. I mean, Papa John's, their pizza has gotten better. Okay, so that's real. And they've always had the better ingredients. So, why don't we round out the better trilogy here with
The best
better
delivery.
better delivery. I like that. Very
Yeah,
good.
so hopefully that helps them in their sales, I guess. Let's go corporate America.
Yeah. Always the question must be reflected back as well. What is your favorite type of delivery? I want to see.
I mean, I like food delivery.
Oh,
I'm a proponent of food delivery.
but is that the question?
Yeah, okay, so I like the fact that I can get delivery from like actual restaurants now. Instead of having to go there. Because okay.
Yeah,
you're,
but what-
okay, you're by yourself, okay? You gonna go eat at the place by yourself?
Oh.
Probably not.
A guy like me?
He says,
Definitely.
yeah. He brings his newspaper. He sits there and he. But imagine, if you will, a world where you're going by yourself, so you just get takeout all the time. Right? You go to the to-go place and you the to-go line and you get your food and take it home.
I mean, that's a good experience too.
But with delivery now you don't have to go there. Now you can be depressed in your house and enjoy the food when it gets to you.
You're gonna overpay so some illiterate third world illegal can get their kid to run it to your door.
I don't think that's exactly right, but okay. I don't think that's exactly right, but whatever.
Better pull up the slave delivery app. These people who can't get real jobs can leech money out of the American economy. This is another reason I'm anti-delivery app.
Okay, I don't think it's. I think you have to be. I don't know if you have to be a citizen or not, but usually those people use other people's identities to do the delivery.
Yeah. One of the best reasons to steal somebody's identity for that is because you don't have a legal one. I digress. Anyway, we're not. This is not going to be an anti-immigration episode. I'm not feeling it this week.
I don't think there's as many. Okay, anyway.
But despite my tangent, which you also get a tangent for tangent, I did give you an answer.
You did.
Still dodged.
I just gave you an answer. For restaurants.
Your answer, what? That's
Like a sit-down restaurant.
that is so vague.
Like a sit-down restaurant. Not like fast food. Not like,
Okay.
not like
Well-
pizza or Chinese. I'm talking like...
I won't belabor it. I find that unsatisfactory, but we can move on.
Okay, well, maybe if your Jimmys aren't wrestled enough, that's your own damn fault.
But you could have said
I'm
something.
not responsible for your
You
feelings.
could have said something like sushi. You could have said something like a cuisine style Mexican.
You want that? You want that detailed answer?
You're like, I like restaurants. But I said,
Sit down.
I said I'm not going to belabor it.
Not like fast food.
See, to me,
Fast casual dining or above.
okay. I'm not going to belabor it. I like food from restaurant too.
Guys, I'm going crazy, dude. Doug's not understanding.
You're going crazy.
Doug's not understanding.
You're going crazy. You know what I think is crazy?
Yeah.
First American Pope.
Yeah.
They said it would never happen.
Leo the 14th.
They said there's no way. But yeah, the Catholic Church got Jim Cramered. He tweeted out, "There's one thing I can say for certain: there will not be an American Pope whenever this conclave concludes."
That's what he said?
No, but someone made a really funny Photoshop of it.
Because that's hilarious, because like, that's the joke is that Jim Cramer is always wrong.
Yeah. Not only is he always wrong, he's like, there's one thing to be wrong. It's an entirely other thing to be opposite of right, which is usually what Jim Cramer does. If you ever want to make a lot of money doing stocks, just trade the reverse Cramer ETF. It bears repeating constantly. Two ways. You trade the Pelosi ETF, which just makes all the same trades she does, or you do reverse Cramer, which is opposite trades. If you do that over 10 years, you're going to make like a fucking 2,000% increase. But yeah, first American Pope, Robert Prevost.
From Chicago.
Yeah, Robert Prevost is his sort of real name, I guess, if you want to say it like that. Mathematics doctorate. Really well-rounded guy. Speaks 7 languages, including fluent Latin. From Chicago, absolutely. Bears repeating there.
Yeah. Pope.
Peruvian archdiocese. So also a naturalized Peruvian citizen. So no technicalities here. Like, and I learned this recently. I think we've talked about it on the show before, maybe, but like I've also talked about this with people in my life because I'm too online, so I'm plugged into like niche communities and niche frameworks of mind. There's this Latin American idea that American applies to everybody on both continents, which is hilarious. You wish it did. American means something very specific, and baby, you're not in down.
You're South American, brother.
Yeah, but how deep that goes, how deep that line of thinking goes, across Latin America, apparently they teach a 6-continent model because North and South America they're connected over land, right? That's one contiguous strip of land. So they're like, we have to call this all one continent. Obviously, we can't call it anything else. So they teach 6 continents only, including Antarctica. So I looked it up and I was like, hold on. Because sometimes, science is not static, as we develop further understandings of stuff. Like what I learned in school was that there are 7 continental plates, like 7 major geological groupings. It's like, did that change? Is there a geological basis for that? No, there's not.
Okay.
There's no. It's a very distinct geological phenomenon that North and South America are different. They move in different ways, but I couldn't tell you the specific plate movement, but it's there. So that is just, not only is it shattered by the truth of what an American is, it's shattered by geological truth.
So they're just dumb. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
They're just dumb and wrong.
It's cope. We get it. Everyone wants to be American, or a lot of people want to be American. Sometimes it feels like everybody, but
especially people in those countries.
But yeah, especially people in those countries. And
I'm sorry. It's just a logical follow through. They're always trying to come. They want to be American.
Yeah. So it's insane cope to be like American is in both continents. No, it's not. It's not. Stop it.
You're going too far, buddy.
But yeah, some people would try to, it's the point of all this tangent, is some people would try to squeeze Frankie in there, Pope Francis the First, as the technical first American Pope, because Argentina. But
okay,
no. And what's cool about Leo 14, that's his papal name.
Yeah.
He does double dip. Born American and naturalized Peruvian. So, yeah. It would have been.
Who would have ever seen the day we'd have an American Pope? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. It's.
You think they'd always pick some Italian guy?
An Italian for the first time in a while, was one of the leading names going into the conclave. Pizza Balla was this guy's name.
That was his real name?
Yeah, fucking funny as shit.
Pizza Balla?
Funny as fuck, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's super cool.
Bro shells out the shekels for some pizza.
Jesus. I don't know if a Catholic would use shekels, but yeah.
Well, you know,
Point
money.
made.
Money. He's a baller. He's a pizza baller.
Yeah, what would they use in Italy? Lira?
Maybe
Lira's Turkey.
Maybe the pizza was the currency. He's like a pizza baller. He throws pizza at you. He's like, oh, you're doing good.
Now I'm imagining a foodstuff that is a spheroid pizza.
Like talking about from Doctor Strange.
No, more
the Pizza Godfather or whatever that guy's name was.
More like a stromboli that took way too much effort. When you're cooking a stromboli, they're at least flat.
Yeah, it's just like a calzone, basically.
Yeah, something more like maybe like baseball sized. Like maybe you drop it in a deep fryer. I guess that would make it pretty easy to cook. That's what pizza balla makes me think of.
Oh, like literal ball
Balla
of
pizza.
Yeah. Well, in Doctor Strange, in the second one, there's a guy's like the pizza father or something, and he sells pizza balls like that. But dude, have you heard of Pizzaghetti?
Yeah, it's a Canadian delicacy.
See, it makes no sense to call it Pizzaghetti in my opinion, because it's just pizza and spaghetti on the same plate. But like the pizza's usually like a calzone, it's on the plate, and then there's spaghetti next to it. Apparently that's the real dish, is what my Canadian friends have told me.
Okay.
Now I understand that there's supposedly an idea where you put the spaghetti on top of the pizza. Apparently that's not as common.
Both of these things are not the way that I was familiarized with this concept. The way that I was introduced to Pizzaghetti was a plate of spaghetti, and then that is the substrate on top.
Oh, like that's the crust.
On top of which you put like a nice sheet of melted cheese and toppings.
See, no, I saw it was a plate and it had spaghetti on it and it had a calzone on it and it was called Pizzaghetti, and I was like, that's just pizza and spaghetti. You don't invent a new name for that.
Okay. Counterpoint.
Uh-huh.
What a fun name to attach to a themed dinner. If we're having both at the same time, it's Pizzaghetti night. That's some shit I can get behind, okay?
That is some shit you could get behind. For me, it hurts, but for you, it's like the best thing. It's like, oh, that's great.
What I'm going to say about all three of these variants on it would smash.
If I have lasagna and broccoli, is that a lasagna-oculi? Like, what are we talking about here?
Now you're just finding ways to poke holes in a good and cool thing. Which is another thing I can get behind.
Yeah, I
love deconstructing things and challenging the norm.
I was saying, a good and cool thing? Like, what are we talking about? We're just talking about pizza and spaghetti.
We're talking about Pizzaghetti, Seth.
Maybe to you. To me, it's something bigger. I'm fighting for all food.
But going back to Leo here, and it's conclave. It's interesting. It's exciting. The non-Catholic world kind of treats it like The Bachelor. Like, ooh, which pope are they going to give the smoke to? But by all accounts, he seems like he's going to be a pretty interesting pope. Probably slightly more conservative than Francis, but
yeah, Francis was pretty out there, but I liked that about him. He was very tolerant of other people.
Yeah,
sure, it was nice to see.
I mean, popes are fucking. I don't remember John Paul at all, so it's not like I have one example to like when I can't say popes are generally. It's the rest of them that might get into a little.
Well, if you go into history, it gets pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like the one that fought wars and stuff, like, it's like, okay.
I can't remember his name, but I did see a nice little papal history tidbit. Way back in 1338, I think was the year he got elected. Whatever pope got elected that time. Basically, everybody came to the conclave, and they had no idea who they really wanted the pope to be. But they were playing the political game a little bit. And so they're like, all right, first round, throwaway vote. Let's see what the factions are. Then we can start politicking a little heavier. Everybody accidentally threw away vote the same guy. And so he was the accidental pope. So I'll go look up his name in the future.
It's all good, man. They don't even have to.
Well,
Like, it's
not
just
not to correct the record, but like, if you have like, that's my favorite pope now. Like,
okay, this is your favorite.
if you're
pope.
gonna have a favorite pope, you should know his name.
Not the one that died of syphilis, okay? The double pope situation was always crazy. I don't know if you remember that. Like, there was the pope in the Vatican, and there was a pope in France.
That sounds badass. I guess that goes into the tidbit a little bit, because part of the thing was return to Rome versus stay in Avignon.
Yeah, there was like a schism for a while.
Man, Catholic Church and its schisms. Loves them.
Starts playing Tool. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
A little bit more conservative, but also in general, as the Western world, it is always progress. It is really just always progressed more and more liberal since the advent of the United States. So I don't think him being more conservative is going to see a huge shift backward in the church at all. And people were this is Twitter's second conclave. You know, the second one, my second one too. I think John Paul was Pope when I was born. I digress. Anyway, so we have a new guy for tweets to go through, and most relevant out of all the tweets was his response to J.D. Vance bringing up the concept of ordo amoris, or the ordering of affection. Essentially, Vance had brought it up, being like, you're supposed to care more about your family than you are about, you know, some fucking... It was in context of the illegal immigration back when that was a really hot button issue.
Okay. What did the Pope respond with?
Yeah, I didn't read the article. I think he did like a longer writing on it. This is when he was still just a bishop or cardinal or whatever. And he's like, what J.D. Vance gets wrong about ordo amoris? And it's like kind of embarrassing for the new Pope to have an article out about how you're being a not correct Catholic enough in his eyes. You know, which one of JD's big things is like him being an adult Catholic convert. So
see, I think about the order that I know is like the top is agape, right? Love of God, God's love, and then it's like platonic, and then eros. I think. I don't remember which one comes first. This is all Greek words, by the way, because Greek has so many words for the same thing. So, but like platonic is like, you know, family and stuff, friends, and eros is like more lust driven. But I mean, even then, it's still up for the romantic partner.
Yeah.
Of course, God's love for you is the most. That just makes sense.
One would hope.
God loves you unconditionally.
But dang all.
According to the Christian sort of perspective, I believe that's true.
Interesting world happening. First American Pope.
That's pretty cool. That's a huge thing.
Honestly, really cool. Especially given America's history with Catholicism and...
True, yeah. I mean, it's not like our dominant thing.
At all. In fact, I mean... Might be one of the more vilified religions, or...
Yeah. In the American tradition, right? There was one colony that was Catholic. I believe it was Maryland. And then after that, I mean, another big thing was, I think JFK was the first Catholic president. That was a huge thing for when that happened.
You know, a long time people thought that was part of why he got shot. So, and then I mean, Irish people traditionally being Catholic from the big wave of Irish immigration. Catholicism tied up in the mob heavily, or the Irish specific mob, but
maybe in the Italian mafia as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. I always forget about the Italians.
They're definitely Catholic.
Yeah, they're a real East Coast kind of ethnicity. It's out of sight, out of mind. It's not exactly the kind of person that I summon to mind when I think of the South.
No. Yeah.
So, but you know, someone pointed out on TikTok. I thought this was funny. He's like, you know, that British people are a little miffed that they can't. Yeah, we're tied on popes now. They can't.
We're tied on popes now.
Yeah, yet another thing that they can no longer hold over us.
Yeah, we got one too now, bitches.
Suck it.
Oh man.
A cool world happening, honestly. Probably one of the cooler world happenings of the week. One that's not so cool. Fucking hot war. The war of India-Pakistan has officially gone hot. I think,
Has it really?
Yeah. Last week we were talking about how India was fucking with Pakistan's water and whatnot. But over the course of this week, proper combat went out, including I don't think any other global conflict in at least in a while. You don't see it get talked about, but they're doing straight up air to air. Like
Dogfights?
it turns out Pakistan's good at jets. They've got 5 confirmed fighter jet takedowns on India,
Wow.
and
The ghost of Kiev strikes again.
yeah, it turns out that little kid from the viral clip, I will become a pilot, I will give my life for Pakistan. Maybe he didn't have to give his life. Maybe he took some.
Maybe there's truth to that. Like maybe a lot of people felt that way.
Yeah. So, to quote our vice president, he was asked about this week.
Yeah.
Let's keep him
Why
relevant.
does J.D. Vance have so many things to talk about? Yes.
Because he's being groomed to run in 2028. This is the most active in my lifetime that a vice president has ever been, and it's because he's the obvious successor to the Republican Party.
Is he the next like Joe Biden? Like Joe Biden was VP to Obama.
Joe Biden was never supposed to be president. If you look into the DNC and you start learning about it, you really get confused as to how Scranton Joe ever made it to the. It really was just so much of the American political establishment was like, oh fuck, how did Trump happen? What the fuck?
Yeah, we need someone.
Yeah, Joe was the nuclear option.
That explains why they didn't want him to run again.
Yeah, and being the nuclear option, what happens in a nuclear site? Everything's dead for a good while.
And they did not groom Kamala.
Well, we're getting away from the topic here, but
J.D. Vance might be running in 2028 is what you're saying.
he's definitely running in 2028. I don't see it. Anybody else having a serious stake to it, unless the next 2 years go fucking off the rails. But he was asked about this conflict, and he hit him with it's just really none of our business.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Even with that?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god.
Shit is awesome. Honestly, top tier response.
Okay.
That's my goat.
I don't know how I feel about that, but yeah.
Yeah. You think it would be a little more our business considering that India is in the coalition of 2 of our biggest enemies. They're the iron BRICS. The other 2 enemies I'm referring to being China and Russia. So, if they're making moves, one of the power players in the opposite alliance to NATO, you think that we would at least be like, what are you guys doing? And both of these nations are nuclear powers.
They are.
So, really, it's on the table.
It's not that far fetched to suggest that there might be nukes dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Because the hate runs deep in those countries
For real.
for each other.
Yeah.
Like they could just be like, yeah, these freaking animals, we're gonna nuke them, and it's like, don't do that.
Yeah. It is an interesting dichotomy, sort of. So one of the roots of this tension, a lot like Pakistan, obviously because it exists the way it does right now, it is sort of its own thing. Whereas the general Indian attitude, in the broadest strokes possible with no nuance, would be that that's just part of India. That's just, why are they fracturing off? That's, they're us, this is our shit. That it's one of those types of beats.
Right.
So that's just something that I picked up. I was like, oh wow, interesting. So if I was to pick a side, I might be leaning a little toward Pakistan. You love an underdog. You love distinct identities that are able to prove themselves.
Yeah.
Everything has worth to it.
So you're a fan of the Kurds? In that weird those weird people in Spain. I can't remember their name.
Castellans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like little ethnic identities that don't have their own homeland.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, just in general, usually I'm predisposed toward that side.
It's interesting because I've heard you be opposite of that.
Brother.
I'm not going into that today.
Broad strokes, no nuance. The amount of emotional stake I put into this is the emotional stake I put into a Star Wars. You know? Love me some Rogue One.
Into a single Star Wars.
Love me some Rogue One. Rebel Alliance, pretty cool. The Mandalorians, love to see it. You know, and then, I could go learn a bunch of shit about stuff and be like, no, India is right, fuck them. Like, But broad strokes, no nuance. Leaning a little toward the underdog here. Also, maybe they're not the underdog. They're winning the air-to-air pretty hard.
Yeah. I mean, makes sense. I mean, think about India.
They up by 5. No, fucking some Chinese musicians. I guess they're popular Chinese musicians or whatever. But they lampooned the situation. They took like a 25-year-old really popular Indian song and then did a mock-up of the music video, like dressed up like it. So like they did was turbines that they taped model airplanes to the top of, and it sounded very similar to that Tunic Tunic song, the da da da. But the translated lyrics that you see in the subtitles, they're doing the dance or whatever. They're crying about their airplanes breaking. It's like, oh no, my plane doesn't work. Send it back. Call customer support. It's like so petty.
That's horrible.
Yet another reason to love China.
Yeah, dude. What the? You would think that would not come from China.
Nah, China rules, dude.
They can mock everyone else except themselves.
I mean,
you lose your social credit score if you mock yourself. You mock your own country.
I think we're less. I'm sure that they make fun of themselves in some way. It's just that's not the kind of thing that's going to get out of the country.
Yeah.
In the way that, could we appreciate China making fun of themselves the same way that we can all be like, oh, that is pretty funny to make fun of their dog shit planes.
Your plane's a dog. You got a dog plane.
But yeah,
it's funny because they're called dog fights. So
yeah, exactly. But yeah, Hot War.
Oh, speaking of Star Wars, that is funny because Star Wars, the first one, A New Hope, is just a samurai film mixed with dog fights.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes back to that too.
Specifically a Kurosawa film, which was Akira Kurosawa, awesome director. One of the only directors whose name is worth knowing, if you ask me, as a guy who's not necessarily a film head. But it was, he sent a letter to George Lucas after A New Hope, and he was like, great movie. I liked it when I did it too. It's a little bit of shade.
Yeah, just a little takedown, But yeah. George Lucas, just big fanboy. Yeah. With a weird ass dream.
Yeah.
To make Luke kiss his sister. No, actually, he didn't want that.
And a very cool at the time wife who, without her editing skills, the movie would not have made as near as much sense as it did. That movie was a...
Look at the prequels.
Yeah, that movie really took a village. What else do you want to talk about, man?
I thought we're gonna move into.
There's one more big one here.
Yeah.
Which is not as bad. I have to preface this. This is what really convinced me we should talk about it.
Okay.
I was talking to someone else like, I promise this is not as bad as the last time I made you hear about him. But we have to talk about Kanye West again.
Yeah.
No,
there's more pressing news now.
Yeah. So where we last left off with Kanye West is he decided to release a song about...
Okay.
You gonna help me out here?
What do you mean? I don't...
Well, I don't want to say it. And nobody wants to say it.
Nobody wants to say it.
Yeah, so we all know where we left Kanye West the last time.
He feels a certain way about a certain dictator.
Well, that's not where we last left him off. we left him off with the Cousin song.
Oh yeah.
So now this week on Music Friday, he releases a song, HH. Now, depending on your predilections, what you're plugged into, you could be like, what does Hulk Hogan have to do with anything? I mean, hell yeah, brother, respect, but this is not your thing. You're not a pro wrestling guy, Kanye. HH, in other circles, and very, very specific circle, it means Heil Hitler. You would... Anyway, you're like, that's a weird thing to name a song. You go into the lyrics, you look at that, and the verse is about normal Kanye topics. He's like, oh, all this money and fame, but I still can't see my children. The judge took my kids away, this, that, and the other. The struggles of a man who's living the life he does.
Yeah.
He also throws in some weird shit about, like, he's now come out as a cuckold. There's a line where he goes, yeah, I'm like being a cuck. I like it when people fuck on my bitch. It's like...
What?
So...
Kanye!
Yeah, this man is self-inflicted.
He's
hells
fallen.
A lot. He's fallen. But then you get to the chorus, and the chorus to the song with the hook at the end, he goes, they don't understand the shit I say on Twitter. All my boop Nazis boop Heil Hitler. And then it goes into a chorus of men who just chant over again, ba 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 ba, and then using those syllables you can figure out what words go to it.
Sure.
And just wild.
Famous cover by Toby Turner.
Right. Of all the people to cover it. That's why I sent it to you. I was like...
I thought it was funny.
But, yeah. Reactions, nobody really knows how to feel about it.
I definitely am very distraught.
So...
Not only by the hook, but by the verse material. He really said he was a cuckold. Like, Kanye, you have to... I thought you were trying to be a gangster, you know? His whole identity at the beginning was that you could do rap and wear a pink polo.
Yeah.
You know, like, he was not the traditional gangster rapper.
Yeah. A little.
And now, all of a sudden, he's... I don't know,
I mean,
man.
cuckoldry is not exactly traditional gangster behavior either.
Yeah, but, like, it's just... He's gone... I think he got too rich.
Oh, it's not even that he got too rich, and so you want to, like, a guy like me, something like this happens, I want to know more about, like, what led up to this, where's this coming from, why are you doing this? And most court documents, with enough work, they're public. You can see what's going on. The courts say he can't see his kids because he refuses to take medication for his bipolar.
Right.
And while...
Because they were a certain kind of doctor.
I'm not going to say what kind of doctor.
I'm not going to say what kind of doctor.
But, you know, the medication that you can be on, like, there are different treatments for it. So, two things can be true. Is that Kanye was on a bad medical regimen. Those specific sets of medication.
Work good for him. There's things that work for certain people, right?
And what's also true, and I'm not a big fan of a lot of, like, psychiatry and psychotherapy and just that whole suite of stuff. It's a lot of it, hate to say it, I don't hate to say it because I believe it. A lot of it's really woo-woo, new age. It's founded on basically guesses. We still don't actually know a lot of stuff, and a lot of it I think is probably fundamentally unknowable. There are definitely things, however, such as bipolar, such as schizophrenia, such as, put a third one in there.
Paranoia?
Paranoia, yeah. Extreme, like acute paranoia.
Anxiety?
There are certain things that do have to be pathologized, that do have to be treated. Bipolar is definitely one of them. And if you've had close contact with bipolar people in your life, you know that that's true. And you know that, like, even they'll admit, like, when they're good and stable and on their medication, they're like, holy shit, I honestly need to make amends for some of the stuff I've gone and done when I wasn't right of mind.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not really a judge saying that you can't see your kids, Kanye. It's you refusing to medicate something that, it's your fault, dude.
Yeah. You could solve this.
Yeah.
This could be solved.
This is not an issue. Well, it is an issue, but you're the one making it an issue. But,
You just got to find what medication works for you. Like, there's a ton of antidepressants on the market,
Yeah.
right? And certain ones are better for certain people.
Or, and honestly, I mean, I could see a judge, especially in California, because where is all this going to happen? The Kardashians live there, so that's the jurisdiction for this. I could see a California judge being like, okay, I see this treatment plan, and there's evidence of it working. Like, even just putting in the effort to get your shit in order and stop acting like such a fool in public. The world doesn't need to know about your childhood sexual trauma. The world doesn't need to know about what's going on in your bedroom like that. You are showing your ass constantly. That's become what his brand is. He's just constantly walking around ass out, being a fool. And he's like, well, you started doing all these things, and that behavior stopped. Maybe medicine doesn't have to be involved, but get some kind of treatment. Anyway, finishing up thoughts
Kanye on BetterHelp.
Yeah, finishing up thoughts on this song. It's been years now that Kanye's been on this Hitler shit. It started back with the Jesus is King, the gospel album, where he made the somewhat cogent point of like, well, Jesus said to love everybody, and Jesus will love Hitler, so, I'm forced to love Hitler as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you can meditate on that a little bit, and you can kind of see where he's coming from with that line of thinking.
Turn the other cheek, love your neighbor type shit.
Yeah, so the Hitler stuff is nothing new, and he's been doing stuff all year. He's got the Nazi, he's got the fucking swastika, iced out swastika on a chain.
Jesus.
Looks ridiculous. Cannot believe a jeweler actually made that for him. I hope the jeweler upcharged. But the link here, the one new link that I sussed out about this, if you go and look at Kanye's life history, I don't know if this has been just not noteworthy up until this point, but when Kanye West was going to school, when he was going to college, he went to, I think there's some art school in Chicago, like U Chicago Art or whatever you would
Whatever it
call
was, yeah.
But what got him in there, when he was there to study, and he was doing beats on the side too, because diversify your hustle, shit. But what he was going to school for was painting.
Interesting.
So, famous failed painters list. No wonder he feels kinship with the guy.
That's the comparison.
No wonder he feels kinship with the guy.
My dark, twisted fantasy is his Mein Kampf.
So, but just, unfortunately, with all the controversy around this song,
Yeah.
it's kind of the best thing he's done musically since, like, Life of Pablo.
I mean,
I don't know, have you heard it yet?
no, but I do think the way you talked about him actually like talking about stuff, it's way better than Vultures. I feel like Vultures, he didn't really say anything.
Yeah.
It was just like, the Vultures to me was more about the music itself, less about the lyrics.
Like, so when I say musically, I do mean like the production side, like the musical ideas that he's doing in the song.
Oh, I mean, I thought Vultures 1 was pretty okay. Vultures 2, kind of.
Yeah. But, so
Beautiful butt naked women don't fall out of the sky,
Yeah. But, yeah, no, it's crazy. Like, and you see, a lot of people do reaction content for music,
Yeah.
and it's undeniably good musically. Is the problem? It's the real problem with this song.
He's always been really good at production.
If the song was about anything else, it would be Song of the Summer. It would be Song of the Year, probably. But it's about the hook is all my Nazis. Like, I would, if you can find it, and it's going to be really hard to find because predictably no streaming service will host it. In fact, this is so controversial that it got his album that he put out this year taken off. They're like, fuck your single and fuck your new album too. So it might be kind of hard to find, but I would recommend everybody just go listen to it to hear the musical aspect of it. And also to participate in this what the fuck moment in the culture. How do we get to this spot?
Yeah, what is going on?
But I guess, every time you think there's no way he can do something worth talking about again, every controversy he has, like, honestly, his lasting legacy is going to be he always does something worth talking about.
I guess so.
That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, no, he's get some help.
Yeah, man.
Stop it. Get some help. In the words of Michael Jordan.
Stop. Get some help. There's more we could talk about with this, but I think we can leave it there.
Sure, I guess. I mean, like that was just crazy. Wild stuff happening from Kanye this year already,
Yeah, nonstop.
Like 3 tracks, right? World War III,
Yeah.
the cousin one, and now this one. Kanye, hey, good morning, Kanye.
Wake up, Mr. West.
There's that paparazzi moment I love. He said, "Good morning, Kanye. Shut the fuck up."
Real. +2.
I don't know if you remember that one, but that was a good one.
Well, man,
What's up?
I'm thinking it's time. It might have to be.
What?
Nah.
Well, we got another minute
Yeah.
or two. We got another minute or two. We could talk a little bit about some news to a video game,
Oh yeah.
just to tease it, because I'm a big fan of the game I play,
That's true.
Dead by Daylight.
You are a big fan of that.
They had a anniversary broadcast yesterday, live from PAX East in Boston, Massachusetts.
They have so many PAXs these days. I remember
Yeah.
growing up, it was just the one. Now all of a sudden, there's like at least 2.
Yeah, I don't really know the specifics, but this one's been going on for a while, because apparently they were there like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, PAX East might have been like the PAX for a while, and then they expanded, and like PAX became. I don't know. I couldn't give a shit, honestly.
I don't know the specifics of PAX.
But
honestly.
big showcase announcement. You're saying?
Kind of, sort of, yeah. They do this every year. They do an anniversary broadcast every year, and some people seem to be getting confused about that. Like, there's this YouTuber that was like talking about how it's weird that they use the anniversary logos and stuff. It's like, bro, this is the anniversary. This is when the studio was founded, was in May, but they do the event in June. Relax, Anyway, they announced some things coming to the game throughout the year and stuff. That's cool. Obviously, it was cryptic. Like, they didn't tell you everything outright. They just mentioned a few things. One of the things, though, you might think is cool. There's going to be an original chapter that is based on Asian folklore. It's supposed to be real gory and gross. That's coming out later this year. It's going to be a killer and a survivor. But
Do they know if they're doing a specific culture or?
they didn't say a specific yet, but they did say Asian.
Okay.
So not based in the Western sort of thing. So it's not going to be a Wendigo, okay? It's going to be some sort of Asian horror thing that's like from folklore.
I'm pulling.
Maybe Ayakashi, maybe, who knows,
I'm pulling for Korea here. I want the fan killer, Korean fan death.
Okay.
Your secret power. You turn all the survivors old, and then they die because you forgot to turn off the fan.
Oh, okay, that's what that comes from. I was like, I don't even know what that is.
Oh yeah, it's a Korean superstition from the pre-air conditioning days. Like
Really?
Up until like the 50s, like that was basically old wives' tale type knowledge, where you would grow up being like, if you leave a fan on when you go to sleep, it is going to kill you with bad spirits.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Cool. I'm glad to share that with you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
It's been like one of my favorite facts for a couple of years now. So
Well, there's that, but I mean, it's based on something. Who knows?
yeah.
And then the biggest announcement, obviously, coming this summer, coming next month, Five Nights at Freddy's is making its appearance, which is cool. You get to play in the pizzeria, and it's Springtrap is the killer.
That's a good move. I think it would have been a mistake to make it like Freddy or any of the other ones, really.
Well,
it would
they're
have been
in
a
the-
problem if they made it Chica, dude.
Well, those animatronics are all in the game in the map.
See, that's
Like,
what's up.
because you're at the pizzeria, so you see like all them on the stage, But I don't know exactly what all's going to go into that, so stay tuned. But I thought that was cool. There was a teaser for new content. People are thinking it might be Walking Dead is going to be a chapter, so that's cool. There's some other stuff that I could go into that I'm not going to because no one cares about all that. Everyone cares about Five Nights at Freddy's. That's cool. It's going to be awesome.
Dude, you said Walking Dead, and that got me wishing and hoping, not that I cared this much about the game, but you know how cool it would be to have a Negan as the killer? Jeffrey Dean Morgan loves that character. He's said many times that it's probably his favorite role he's ever done. So he'd be on board with it. He'd probably...
I don't think there's going to be a killer for Walking Dead.
But I'm saying that would be cool, though.
It would be cool. I think it's just going to be survivors, though. Because they announced there's going to be like a chapter with just 2 survivors in it. That might be it.
Resurgence of Carl memes.
Yeah, in come Rick, in come Carl. In comes Michonne, in comes, whatever, Dave, whatever. Anyway, so that's sort of like on the precipice, but the Five Nights at Freddy's is pretty cool. And yeah, I don't want to bother you with all the other details. I feel like that might be a little too niche. But yeah, get hyped for that. I'm sure the player base is going to go crazy.
Oh,
like it's going to go like when Resident Evil first came in, it went crazy. I have a feeling Five Nights at Freddy's going to go even crazier.
It's going to be like fresh blood to the franchise.
Right.
Fully new players are going to come in just for FNAF.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
So, yeah, which live service games always need something to rejuvenate their player base. So this will probably do that. Very, very good. We love to see it, folks.
Wow! We're just gonna keep winning. In Kamala's America, you would never get this in a game.
You did jog my memory a little bit, though. A nice little factoid. This is mostly a FNAF factoid, but because of this collab, this is the first time in franchise history that William Afton, who is like he's the main mastermind of why these animatronics kill people, essentially.
Yeah.
First time in that franchise existing's history that he has received a 3D model, like as an individual, which is pretty wild.
But he's based off the movie.
Which is pretty wild when you think about it.
Yeah.
Cool news, man. Hell yeah.
I remembered something you said earlier, but I guess we'll probably skip over that.
Which one?
Trump.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is just a really short tidbit. Good news for people who don't like our shipping lanes getting bombed. We've reached a peace deal with the Houthis. The Houthis in America, we're good. You really like to see that. I feel like Biden wasn't willing to address them at all in any capacity, or the Biden administration more accurately.
Right.
And they weren't really such a big problem at all during Trump 1 or, the Obama era. The Obama era, they were just getting slaughtered constantly, just carpet bombed. That's how Obama dealt with that area of the world.
True.
It just bombed them into submission.
Yemen got destroyed.
So, but that's one of the big W's so far. Like, honestly, probably the biggest W of Trump 2 to date is where I would put that one. So that's pretty cool. Little Middle East update.
Yeah. Well, part of shot?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Over here, you already know, it's your boy. Oh, wait, you take my line? I'm not supposed to take your spot?
You know I go first.
Heart me a shot.
You know I go first because you like to go second.
But you go first because I'm the one that prompts this segment.
Well, I'm the one that tells you, and then you say, yeah, it is, and then I go.
Well, part a shot then.
Now I'm confused. Who goes first?
Part a shot.
Okay.
I'm no longer asking.
That's
you will part a shot.
That's insane. Guys, fellas, ladies, twitch.tv/Seth_Nacho411. Mondays and Tuesdays, come check it out. My peeps, come check it out. As soon as that FNAF drops, I will be playing it.
Yes.
Besides that, there's a fun factoid I have for everybody.
Ooh.
Did you know that in New Zealand, there are more sheep than there are people? Just
Yeah.
a fun fact. Apparently, people are catching up, but there are more sheep than people in New Zealand. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you what goes down there, because that's pretty much their main thing is sheep, and then just having one of the most beautiful countries on the planet. And if you're curious what New Zealand looks like, just watch the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings. They're shot on location in order to make something look like Middle Earth, that beautiful landscape of New Zealand for all those like mountain passes and whatnot. So yeah, but more people than sheep, I would not have guessed. Like I
No, more sheep than people.
Okay, yes, sure, but I would not have guessed it was more livestock than
Than
People.
humans, yeah.
Very cool. Over here, you already know it's your boy Doug B. As far as where I'm at, if you don't know by now, I don't know what to tell you. Get real. And as far as a thought to leave you on, it's been too recent since the last time I did I won't leave you with anything. Think about that. Here's what it is. A game recommendation. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so it's about time.
Okay.
It's PC only, so you're gonna have to play it on your computer. It's a little game called Nubby's Number Factory. Okay? It combines two of the best things in the world: roguelike gameplay and pachinko machines. It's only $5, so it's worth your time. It's a fun little oddity.
That's the best combo, pachinko and roguelike.
I didn't say it's the best combination. I said it combines two of the best things.
Yeah, two of the best. Those are the best
And
things.
if you want to know why pachinko is so good,
we're all fans of The Price is Right.
anything that got a 10-ad web-only series of advertisements starring Nicolas Cage, such as pachinko machines.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that already rockets pachinko to the top of cool and good things. But, gambling's already a crapshoot anyway. It might as well be visually exciting. But yeah, check out Nubby's Number Factory.
Okay.
But yeah, so if you're checking stuff out, doing what you gotta do, but you must do the things you always must do, which is carry water, chop wood, and most importantly,
Xiao Hong Shu.
You said I love you and I said I love you too. I said everything's different now, everything has changed. And there's something, always something new. I said nothing's new, nothing's changed, that's I need you. I'm about to hit the move.